Good morning. Nice to have everybody with us today. Looks like we got about 53 with us right now, Arlena, and probably more coming in. I'm going to be sharing my screen again. My name is Dan Klug. I'm the director of HR, recruitment and selection, and also HR analytics. We'll be going through this program, and like Arlene said, anytime you've got questions, go through the chat box. It's meant to be informal. We have kind of a small group of maybe about 60 or so, or 70. So it really lends itself to have more interaction. I promise this won't be like traffic school. As we go through this, I'll get right started here and we'll share my screen. There we go. Some of the things that we're going to be talking about today, just really our mission, our purpose in HR, the data that we provide. We try to provide more than just data. We try to be a strategic partner with you to help make good decisions with the information. We'll show you what we're doing on current projects and even future initiatives in this. And would like to get some feedback from you on what you'd like to see out there as far as HR data that's going to be available to you. So every year we improve our communication with this. So we really want to do that with you. We'll talk about even the difference between metrics and analytics and what that really means being a strategic partner. So let's get started. You know, I've had this this saying for some time that I thought was an excellent quote for the Economist of 2017. It really is true, isn't it? The world's most valuable resource is no longer oil anymore, and hasn't been for some time. It's really data. So how important it is that you have data to accompany good decisions for you. So that's where we come in, especially when regarded to HR information and really helping in these areas. So that means that our mission in HR is to really provide HR analytic metrics which allow you, our partners, to develop a more strategic or predictive purpose and decision making in your environment. So we really want to try to partner with you in these things because it's more than just giving you data. You know, it really ties into what that data means, and we'll go into that a little bit more as we go through. So what have we been up to? Here's some of the data that are the metrics that we do provide. We have for government agencies, whether it be for the state of Arizona or even federal government, we provide this. So we provide the affirmative action plan for government agencies to be able to see where ASU is in regards to our performance and what we do. So we do a lot of government reports that we throw out there that you probably never even see. You might hear the governor or other Arizona leaders talk about some of the data that we provide them, but you probably don't hear about it other than that. Of course, the president, we provide him information all the time. And this is just kind of an example of what we did a few years ago as far as how many classified staff that we had to service professional, or at that time, even university staff type of positions, and how they really translate. But other things that, again, you probably wouldn't see, but you hear about the president talking about it. Then it gets to even today. And if the program works well, we're going to go in and actually show you something. But where we have a lot of our HR data is right there for your fingertips. Here's an example. We have two sites that you can go to. You can go to the analytics.asu site to get this, or even our recruitment site. This is an example of our web page. And over in HR reporting, you can do that. And I'm going to just take you through a little bit of that. So if I were going to click on this here, normally what it would ask is it'll take you to the sign-in page, and you'll want to sign in, of course, normal signing in as a staff member or a faculty member or whatever, but it takes you eventually to this page. And this is where all our HR analytics reporting is. We've broken it up into 6 different categories. This is the one that HR departments they're open to. One of the issues that we do run across is giving you data that doesn't have confidential information in it. You know, we purposely hold back information that might have your home address in it, or your social security number, or things like that. Obviously, that's not going to be open to the public. That's just information for us. So that's why there's a variety of different tabs in here. Some of these reports are just open to HR or to deans or to the president. Whereas this one right here has information such as compensation, recruitment, benefits, other things that you might be interested in when you go in here. And basically, this is open to all of the ASU employees. So when you do that, and here's an example, even going to seeing all at ASU, what's our population like? How many staff do we have? So here's an indication. You can go down here and you can break that down out of all the staff that we have right now. This is just an example. We have over 37,000 staff. If you wanted to break that down even further, obviously there are some with leave without pay. We'll take away the leave with absence, things like that. Let's just have, let's just have active employees, people that are there today. Let's see, we have 29,000, and it breaks it down. Nice about these tables is you can break it down even further. Like if I just wanted to go into my department that's at Temp B, this shows you, take for example, the university libraries, you can click down, and these kind of systems will allow you to break it down even further. You can go down to your specific department to see the status of all your employees in there, if they're on a work break or what their status is. You can go in and see your departments. So nice little tools that can be used to give you information where you can make good decisions on things. And there's other reports in here, like I said, for benefits that you'll be able to go to and see, who in your department still needs to do their open enrollment. And hopefully nobody right now, but it just gives you examples that you'll be able to go through. Other recruitment data that might be really relevant to you. Who's getting a background check or fingerprinting in your department, and what the status is on that. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to go in and see, what actually went on in the background check, but at least would it let you know who has had one and who hasn't. So again, further reports to really help you in this regard. So that's just an example of what this is. And again, this kind of the slides. But again, other things that are within those reportings, who was terminated in your department over the last 5 years, or what's the turnover like in your department. Again, this is information that you can use to help you in your decision making. How is our department doing in these areas? Or even looking at the job titles. You have a recruitment that you're going to be doing. What is the job title and descriptions that really fit that position, let alone some of these other ones that we looked at, like vacation and sick balances. So we showed some of these. Give you an example where it drills down. In the Connexa system, that's the applicant tracking system that we have, that we do all our staff recruiting, all our student recruiting, and even faculty associates today. There's reports in the metrics dashboard that you can find out about all of your recruitments. Take, for example, if you wanted to know, I want to see all the recruitments that we did this past year. I want to break it down into, I want to see how long did it take us? What advertising we used, how many applicants there were, who were these applicants, even breaking it down further to, okay, where did this applicant who applied actually first see where this job was advertised? So all of our applicants answer these kind of questions during our recruitments. What will that do? What that does is that helps you to see, well, if I have this job again that I'm going to post, what is the most effective way to advertise this? Now in HR, obviously, you can call us anytime, and we've got data going back all the way to 2007. That's going to help you with that information, even broken down to job titles. Like if you wanted to find a tech support person in a certain area, you could contact us and we could tell you the most effective way to advertise this and provide advertising for you. So again, helping you to get the best candidate, to make strategic decisions in your processes. So we've got all that kind of data for you. Even again, how long it took you to hire this person from the time the job was posted to the time the person was hired. Now, average at ASU, which we have information on, it takes 42 days to hire a staff person. And now maybe some of you are thinking, well, in our department, it takes about 60 days. There's an example where we can help you with data, HR analytics. We can go in and we can see where maybe it's taking you the longest and how to be more effective. Because take, for example, in HR, it only takes us about 30 days to hire somebody. Why? Because we know where to cut corners without cutting the process. So again, to be more effective in your decision making, and there's where HR analytics comes in, especially with the recruiting areas. So, Arlene, Arlena, any questions as yet in the chat box?
Let's see, we do have one question.
Sure.
So I'd love to see a tool for system administrators that manage central and departmental logical access so they can pull a listing of all people with current access to the systems they manage.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, excellent.
And in some cases, right, and upload this listing. We have a report that shows the source listings, current affiliate status.
Excellent. That's exactly the kind of things that we're looking for, that I'm hoping to get from you. You're the experts in your area, and you see the needs that you have. Arlene's probably going to give you my email information at the end of this. Please email me these requests that you have, that you'd like to see how you could be more effective in your area, and because of data that you might need. So that's a good example in the chat box to kind of bring these things out.
And we have another question from Farnoosh. Are some of these tables available in the data warehouse so that we can run special reports?
Some are. You know, the problems that we have, again, with ASU data is it's hard to limit who sees it. Take, for example, there's information in the data warehouse and other things like that again is kind of confidential to people. There's certain information that, you know, we don't want to bring out. Take, for example, you might think, well, maybe maybe we want to find out where everybody works. You know, I want to be able to go online and click a report and see where everybody is in the office. And that might seem kind of innocent, but we don't spread that information out. One of the reasons is you know, we want to protect people and their safety. So if somebody knew exactly where you worked, if you know, we want to prevent stalking or any kind of crimes against you, so we don't give out that information. So again, that's just an example of something that might seem small, but we want to make sure that we keep things confidential. Not only for your personal safety, but you know, making sure that people don't have data that's confidential. So that's just an example. I see another. Is there something else in the chat box, Arlena?
I think David is just commenting on his questions. So he has a daisy chain of active EEs, affiliate status, and terminations. And then I have access as an IT auditor. Right, he was just commenting from Farnoosh. How it isn't feasible for all system admins, yeah. Right.
And you'll find, I'm sure all of you have seen that each of you, because of the responsibility that you have different access to different systems and different responsibilities. And sometimes that's hard to regulate at ASU. But bottom line, definitely send me your request of things that you would like to have access to that maybe are HR related or systems related. And it's something that we can provide for you in the future. So good question or good comments in that. Let me go back to the system and show you a little bit more of some of the things that we offer. This is, let me put it back on the presentation. There we go. This is an example of some of the requests that we have received in the past of what really is our benefits and and salary and putting those things together. And this is an example of one where in your salaries and benefits area on your My ASU, it gives a breakdown of your total compensation. So we've obviously, this is a live one. We've taken out some of the numbers. We don't want you to see the individual's real life thing, but this is an example. It shows total compensation of where your salary really comes from, and breaks it down in these certain areas. So an example of the percentage, and even shows the value if you're getting tuition benefits, of how much of a real value that is in your compensation. This is a nice recruiting tool also. It really helps individuals that are going to work at ASU to see that the compensation that you want to pay them is actually worth a lot more than they think it is, based on these other opportunities or even the benefits that are available to them. So nice little tool that we have. And again, here's where you find it at your ASU, going in there to salary and benefits. This is another program that really helps. And in fact, I'll go out of this and see if we can go back into the live data. But if we were going in and looking in the groups section, all the edge training that we have here at ASU, and we have a dashboard that's set up. What's nice about that is you can see who within your department has taken training. So getting into this, take for example, if I were going to look up a particular training, like, okay, who in my areas had FERPA training? So we go in there, and then as you can see, it breaks it down by college on one side, but then into individual departments. Once you click on this, I'm not going to show it to you because obviously it's going to show the individual department that I clicked in and who in that department has taken the training. What an effective tool that is to help you to manage your people and make sure that that they receive the proper training in this. So a nice tool. And again, the different areas, if you can see that, of all the training that we have. And this is an ever expanding area, because obviously there's more and more training that is being put in the EDGE training program. So this is going to be expanding all the time. So again, a nice tool to be able, an effective tool to be able to use today. And again, here they're just kind of showing.
And we did have a quick question about one of the pieces of data. It was on the background check data. How far back does that go?
It really can go back as it allows you to go back some years. You know, we started doing background checks and fingerprintings here at ASU in 2007, but we usually try to keep at least 3 years worth of data on our history. So in reality, it really doesn't need to go back further than that. If you did need information on, take for example, you know, if I was your employee, when was the last time Dan Klug had a background check or a fingerprinting? You'd be able to contact us in HR, and we'd be able to get you that information. But to answer that question, our data on fingerprints, and on background checks, you can see within the last 3 years all the background checks that have been done with your people in that. So nice program. And again, this just shows more of the EDGE program. So our future, what we really want to do, and again, how we build these future reports is based on your suggestions. We, about every quarter, we solicit different ones in the departments on what programs they would like to see, what reports they would like to have, and we build those and pop those in there. So again, how important it is at the end of this, if you have other ideas that you'd like to throw forward to us, let us know and we'll put that in there. But here's an example of some of the things that we've actually done a lot of these, but we're adding to them. You know, like a VP roll-up. And what that's basically is kind of having an organizational chart within the department. Like, so if you wanted to see who everybody's supervisor is and the chain that goes in there, and that's good, especially with approvals and things like that. Something that we're really building on. We're continuing putting more dashboards boards out there, and also with the Connexa reporting tools. More and more information we're trying to provide there. So again, the reason that we do this is so you can make better hiring decisions or better decisions in dealing with and using your people. Graphics, we're constantly doing that. This is an example of just something that we had portrayed in the past that we want to do, is we want to be able to, while you're going in and seeing your department's information in a given area, maybe let's just take recruiting, we would have reports that would allow you to compare yourself to other departments. And this is kind of an example. This is time to hire. As you can see, in 1 year, it took 46 days to hire somebody. In the following year, 43 days. Well, you would be in the department here and it would show you how many days it takes you, but you'd be able to compare it to other departments. So to have the graph capability of that, we're working on that more and more with our Connexa program. This is kind of the similar, being able to go in and seeing different reporting, not only with your department, but compared to other departments. Another example here of how many employees there are in each of these departments and where they live. And granted, these would be open to maybe not everybody in the department, but to deans and others that make strategic decisions as far as parking, as far as remote working and different things like that. Again, similar things, dashboards that we can create. Again, not just throwing information out to you, but putting it in picture form to allow you to take this information to be able to present it to your people in cleaner fashion. So we're working on things like this to be able to help. And granted, these are kind of busy right now, but we just wanted to show you the capabilities that we're hoping to get in the future. Again, breaking it down, comparing departments. So questions about any of those before I go a little bit further?
I'm not seeing any questions in the chat.
Okay, probably more coffee needs to be instituted. If this, nobody stopped at Starbucks before this. Okay. So
we do have a question
yes.
from Chrissy. Where do you get the graphics?
The graphics, a lot of it is created, but with our systems we have, whether it be in Alteryx or usually Tableau, there's different graphic systems that we have purchased to be able to go along and take the information and build it out a little bit further. So different programs like that.
So it's kind of like the right tool depending on what you want to present.
That's true. And there's always new tools coming out. I mean, just think of the communication tools that we have, or ticketing systems that we have here at ASU. It's to make things simpler. We've complicated it by adding Slack and different programs with that. But again, to make things more efficient, there's lots of options, aren't there?
And these are interactive graphics versus kind of what they call infographics, right?
Well, it's kind of a combination. Initially, they're infographics, just so you can make presentations. But yeah, they're meant to be used to be to manipulate and to use to really present data in the most beneficial way. So, okay. Well, a little bit more about our role too, that really shows where we can become a strategic partner with your departments. To provide more than just data for you. And this is extremely important because if we provide data to you, sometimes it can be mismanaged. And we need to be careful. And I'm going to give an example. I'll give a couple examples. For one department that we did, again, here's the note to us all, really. It doesn't matter how good our data is if we don't know how to analyze it or relate it to other points of data. To the problem. And I'll give you an example for one department, what we did. One department was experiencing high turnover and they had theories on why. Well, Dan, we're getting bad applicants. We're making bad hires. That's one of the reasons why we're having turnover. That same department within the group, there was a thought, well, our salaries just aren't competitive. Our salaries are too low. That's why we're having the high turnover. And then another said, well, there's a lack of career growth within our department. These three things, everybody within that department really had different viewpoints. But again, they were making assumptions. They took one data point, that being high turnover, and created a hypothesis, and they were going to make decisions based on their hypothesis. And that really was going to prove to be an error. We got in and we really analyzed and collected the data. And we really helped them to see that one, their hires that we're making were not only of a diverse population, which is something that's important, but they were good hires. They were good performers. They were leaving, but before then, they were getting good performance appraisals. So it wasn't the talent that they were gathering and recruiting. Another thing is when they compared the salaries during salary surveys to not only other departments, but to other areas in the industry, the salaries were very competitive and people weren't leaving because of salary. Another thing is that it also showed that there were opportunities within that department. So here, the hypothesis they said of why people were leaving were totally false when we really analyzed the data. But what we did find, which was interesting, is when we went in and we compared different metrics, we really saw that that we did exit interviews and saw that the real issue was one of the managers. One of the managers was losing a lot of people, and exit interviews and different things that were going on there really showed that that was really the crux of the problem. So again, once that was corrected, that department again started to flourish. So really the lesson for all of us is utilize not only the tools that we have, but even using us as a consultant and helping you to make strategic decisions based on the metrics. That can really help you. We did another thing. Oops, went a little bit too far there. We actually recently did for another department. They were were thinking that their whole department, they were, when they did their recruitments, when they did their job postings, that they didn't feel like they were really getting a diverse population. So meaning that different groups weren't applying to their positions, because they would look within their department and they saw that in different sections of the department, everybody looked the same. Everybody was similar age, was of similar background. Well, why was that? Well, they thought initially that it was because, well, they weren't reaching the people that they were trying to reach, a diverse population, when they were doing recruitments. When we did do the metrics of it, we saw that their applicant pools were 60 to 70% of diverse populations. You know, at ASU, whenever a job is posted, we have community partners, basically people that we advertise with. So we make sure that every group is represented when these jobs are posted. So again, what they thought was really the situation turned out to be not the applicant pool. But really some of the decisions that the search committees were making. So again, we're still in the process right now of helping that department with that. So again, how important it is to use data and help and use HR in helping you to really analyze that data. So here's some final points really in looking at organizations. Most organizations out there, notice 56% of organizations out there in using analytics are more of a reactive organization, meaning that something happens, an example like turnover or a crisis, and then they react to it. Okay, we've got to fix it. We've got to make decisions. Most organizations are that way. About 30% of organizations are a little bit proactive. Now, we at ASU mostly are in this level. We provide data collection, we provide dashboards and things like that to help you to make good decisions. Not a lot of departments are taking advantage of this, so they really are falling into this area. Where ASU really is in the majority, if departments take advantage of the HR analytics that are available, we're among like the 10% organizations. We look at the data that we already have out there and we make decisions based on that and consider how we can be more strategic in our decision making. Obviously, this is the goal really of every organization, is to be predictive, to use the data and the metrics that are out there in planning and effectively. So that's what really the goal is for most organizations. This is how you move to this. Take, for example, if you're doing recruiting, instead of just reacting to information, you want to be proactive and really be active in those areas in which we can help you with. Same thing with employee engagement. Sometimes when there's slow growth or if there's turnover, people react to it when in reality, have a higher engagement with the staff, maybe weekly meetings, one-on-ones, career growth, the new EDGE program conversations that we have. Implementing these things can really improve employee engagement. And then even talent acquisition or retention that we talked about here to get higher engagement. So there's some effective tools out there with that. So again, I wanted to not only go through that, but I wanted to open that up and spend some time for questions. And Arlena, are there any out there?
Questions in the chat, but certainly if folks have a verbal question, if you want to just cue your name up in the chat, then I'll invite you to unmute.
Any more in the chat box? Okay.
What, Dan, I know, well, I have a question. What are some of the recent things that you're working on? I know that, is it the training dashboard?
Not only with the EDGE, the career EDGE training and really helping with dashboards there, but we're always looking to add more reporting capabilities, not only for the benefits, but for our recruiting, for our background checks, different service models that we can provide. These are kind of things that we are really focusing in on. And again, where we get a lot of that is just suggestions from you, from those that are participating in this program today. Again, you see what you need in your departments, and we're providing those.
So I did have a couple questions come in. So in terms of access to Connexa, so where do we get access to those reports? Or where do we request to get access to those reports?
Okay, right now you have the capabilities. In fact, let me just share my screen one more time here. Going back. When you go to your home page in Connexa right now, this is obviously mine, you're going to see a metrics dashboard. When you click on that, you'll have access to your departments. This is going to show, I've obviously got access to all departments with this. So this is, yours is going to be more specific, but it's going to show certain things like this. This is, you'll probably be able to see this. This compares right now the time to hire to all departments. So you'd be able to see how you compare right now to all the departments that are available out there. So, and again, this is by days, and again, the time that it took for different, usually from post to the time the person accepted the hire. And it has different graphics here, and even the background checks, how long the background checks have taken. Here's a process of, as far as breaking it down in the different process of the hire, what's available with all that, and again, different graphics in here. So this metrics dashboard is very useful to really help you to see right now how you're performing, or how your department is performing compared to others.
Another question we have, does Central HR provide best practices to departments, or is that up to departments to decide?
Really, we provide best practices. We have different trainings that we put on. The Learning Workforce and Development Group in HR, they put on supervisor training. So they're showing best practices and how to effectively manage and coach your department. My department, we put on monthly programs where we certify hiring managers. Many of you that I see your names have been through the programs that we present. There's about 873 hiring managers right now at ASU that have been certified for 2 years. We show the best practices and the legal issues of as far as how to gather a diverse workforce, how to recruit and hire the best candidates, and really to more effectively and efficiently do your recruitments, to narrow it down to less than 40 some odd days.
Another question is, are you incorporating something like predictive indexing for hiring?
We do. And how we do that is an example, what I kind of brought out earlier, is if you have a particular job title that you're going to, or a position that you're going to fill, we can let you know not only the most effective way to advertise and to reach the audience that you're looking for, but even give you suggestions and programs to be able to retain those individuals, those good hires that you make for a long time. So,
what data is in the HR executive reports?
Top secret. Now, that's data where it's a lot of confidential information that only is open to department deans or leaders, individuals that need to make decisions based on that.
And another question coming from Tamara is, can we pull a list of ASU rights and where? I think that question might be just need some context around that.
Yeah, I need a little information on that. When you're talking about ASU rights, or a little bit more information.
So Tamara, you can either unmute, or you can put something in the chat, or we can certainly take that offline.
And again, Arlene is going to give you my email, and I know most of you, but if you want to send me an email, I'll be available today to answer any requests that you have to further the information. So,
Yeah.
well, I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope it was beneficial. Please continue to contact me. I usually say we answer our phones, but we at least answer our emails now, working remotely. So, well, thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. That was an excellent presentation. So we do hope to see everybody on Friday. Would be at 9 a.m. for your daily data inspiration. Talk to you later.